What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jordan, your favorite tinfoil nut job around, and we've had quite a day. Lots of stuff going on, so I'm going to try to roll through it all, make it short and sweet. We've got some censorship all across the board to talk about. We're going to talk about Q. We've had some unfortunate deaths, very mysterious deaths to discuss, and then, of course, some breaking news regarding UFOs. So, I'm going to talk about that, and I've got some pretty important things to say on it too, so make sure you stick around towards the end of the video for that, and let's just go ahead and get started. Beats! Alright, so before we get into the matters at hand, just want to give a shout out to a sponsor of this YouTube channel, Noble Gold Investments. They're an awesome family-run business out of Texas. What they do is help you invest your money into precious metals, gold and silver, which have a much better long-term value, long-term keep than stocks do. There'll be some links for Noble Gold and a phone number down below. Go check them out. So starting it off, I want to talk about a few of the news stories we have breaking that are destroying the mainstream narratives. One of those is yesterday, the FBI finally firing Peter Strzok months after anti-Trump texts revealed. So he is out of there. And my question is now, can we clear Flynn? Can we? Can we? And not only do we have the FBI firing Peter Strzok, who went and made a Twitter and a GoFundMe account. How pathetic is that? But we also have this being circulated around, Russia collusion. It was Hillary Clinton all along. So the deep state doesn't want that. They've got their FBI guys out of there. They got their Russian narrative failing, which is exactly why they're doing as hard as they can to run their discrediting pieces, run their attack pieces, and also censor the shit out of us. I've been dealing with some censorship the past couple days. My website has been DDoSed twice. Luckily, it's back up now. I know some others. I heard Jay Dyer is one who had his website taken down. And then we've also had InfoWars have their site attacked as well. But I got some thoughts on that one. We'll talk about it in a minute. And not only have we dealt with censorship, but the attack pieces. So the NBC decided to run this morning, how 3 conspiracy theorists took Q and sparked QAnon. And what they tried to say is that there was a couple people, the Baruch dude, and then another person who basically were the ones that they claim started Q for just some kind of enjoyment or to make money or something like that. And they go through these bullshit, it's all made up information about how that happened, they claim. So trying to lie to us about it, trying to confuse people. And of course, NBC is doing that because, as Q stated today in some drops, we target NBC, NBC targets Q. And how Q has been targeting NBC is that they've been linking the NBC article about old tweets, how to delete old tweets. NBC ran this a few days ago because they're basically trying to warn their Hollywood friends. We've had a lot of Hollywooders, A-listers, have some very old tweets from like 7, 8 years ago surface. I'm sure you've heard of James Gunn, really weird child pedo stuff. Rainn Wilson is one who's had some tweets resurface lately. Bill Maher as well, some pretty racist things that he's saying. So NBC ran this. Q made a mention of it. Well, why do you think? Q was asking us. So of course NBC decided to run their attack piece yesterday. And then in this same post, Q said, actors will act. And that brings us to InfoWars. So today, InfoWars website went down, or at least they claimed it went down. But people were noticing something very interesting about that. Why, if you go to Infowars.com, does it still come up? Now, it says they're under attack, but this is actually a web page that comes up. When my website gets DDoS, it gets an error message that you can't even get into the server, right? So why is this a redirect page? Redirecting to donations. Oh, go get their free app, go get their Twitter. Oh, they got some other websites up. I don't know why those websites weren't targeted as well, but this is just very curious. And on the Q boards, somebody said that. They said, note to AJ Shills, nobody hacks a site, brings it down, but publish a very useful and informative redirect page. Q says actors will act. And I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to put it out there right now that I think all of this InfoWars censorship over the last week or two has all been a stunt. There it is. I said it. I think it's all been a stunt. And I can go into my reasoning. I can spend a lot of time doing that. But long story long here is that I think what the powers that be are trying to do is shift the attention away from Q, shift the attention away from other alternative grassroots underground truthing channels such as this one, and redirect that attention towards Alex Jones. You know, at the beginning when they started censoring him, they went through over a few days his various accounts, but they left his Twitter up, they left his webpage up, they left his app up, and of course the Streisand effect, his app soared, newsletter got millions of signups, and it was very good to keep him relevant, you see? And now his website's going down, well, one of his websites, and is it really down? And it goes down at the very same time, well, actually shortly after mine did, and some others did. So you can see the picture I'm painting here. Very convenient to have that placeholder there, right? That placeholder who doesn't delve very deep into certain topics, who spreads a lot of fear in what they talk about. That placeholder does have some convenient things for the powers that be's agenda, right? So anyway, moving on from that, moving on from just getting that off of my chest, let's then get into one of the best Q proofs yet that I've seen. So yesterday, President Trump signed the Defense Authorization Bill, the NDAA, for 2019, and doesn't say John McCain's name. And how is that a Q proof, you might be asking if you're new to the whole QAnon issue. Well, pretty much since the beginning, for months now, Q has been referencing to John McCain as no name, and it's become a joke on the boards that John McCain is referred to as no name, or we don't say his name. He just goes by no name, right? Well, President Trump signed his bill, John McCain's bill, doesn't say his name. Troll, super troll, man. Trump is the best at trolling, and it's so funny, and this is a great Q proof right there, and it's crazy, you know? All these anti-Q folk really popping up over the last few days, few weeks, right? More and more, and let's reference some more of Q's posts from today. There's been a few. This one up here, it says, example, MOS, Mossad, alt and United States mainstream media and U.S. politicians are all owned by rogue Israeli intelligence, the Mossad. Mossad and CIA are pretty close. Those who scream the loudest, Q asks. So all these folks that are anti-Q, making up their bullshit, yada, 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 they're screaming the loudest. They've got something to hide, I would imagine. Find the connections. 1111, Q is basically saying when this logic leads to that logic, well, again, it's just reasoning. There's always a primary and then affiliates that are have some background connections with that primarity. So there you go. I question a lot of these alternative folk coming out, and I do that openly. So let's move on. Actually, a few more Q posts. Let's just go through. We had this one posted today. Yesterday's Q was talking about Antifa. Antifa is Nazi propaganda reincarnate. So it's all just, I mean, Antifa, don't go messing with those folks. We need to find a way to get to them that doesn't involve violence, that doesn't involve, you know, putting them down in any way. It's just, I'm really concerned, I want to say, in how we're going about discussing the leftists or discussing those folks that are brainwashed by this ideology, because it's truly sad. We shouldn't be berating them or saying that leftists are awful human beings. They're just lost souls, right? So it hurts me to see a lot of people who claim to be woke or are in the truthing communities or what have you, and they're still caught up with that divide and conquer strategy, you see. So anyway, we got to find a way to get to these people, but make them understand that they are literally following Nazi ideology, and it's all projection. They're claiming that other people do, Trump supporters do, when it's really them. Sad to see. Next post from Q. right here. They are in full-blown panic mode. Enjoy the show. Each fake news article written or attack is a badge of honor, military grade. Thank you very much, Q. Keep it going out there, folks. This next one, Department of Justice airplane in Arkansas. True Pundit has been reporting on this. They noted a couple of Department of Justice aircraft that went into Arkansas, and they were claiming had a bunch of evidence or boxes of stuff loaded onto them. Q is basically saying, don't link that to the Clinton Foundation. Clinton Foundation docs are kept in New York City and in Utah, with John Huber in Utah. So maybe that could have been something else in regards to the Clintons or some other investigations, but not the Clinton Foundation. Next post here, Q says, attacks like this have not been seen since the WikiLeaks Podesta dump, and it's all similar in nature to the attacks on the president. It's all disinformation, psyops. Think waves, think coordinated, think all outlets. And fake, the fake MAGA, the fake alternative media liars, pretty much foreign and domestic. Are the emails in the WikiLeaks Podesta dump authentic? Yes, they are. Has the president made a statement that has ended up being true and correct? The president has not made a statement that didn't end up being true. 5,000 new a day. I'm taking this to mean that 5,000 new people, as per Q's intelligence assumptions here, are figuring out about QAnon, waking up every day. And then we went over that drop. This is discussing the armed person on the Hoover Dam, how these are patsies, these are made-up stories as psyops to discredit the Q movement. And then Q, lastly here, is discussing how Facebook always listens to you, Twitter always geo-tracks you, we are all under constant surveillance, and it's DARPA programs. DARPA is shady shit, let me tell you. And then some other things in regards to Google, a lot of questions. Big picture things Q is just reiterating here. So those are the rest of those posts. Let's now get into the murders I want to talk about. So a couple questionable ones. True Pundit reporting on an investigative journalist found dead in a DC hotel room. Her name was Jen Moore, and she was investigating an alleged rape that Bill Clinton did. She was investigating Bill Clinton. I'm still looking for some more information to this. I haven't seen any links in here to other sources by True Pundit, but they're saying there's a lot more to come. And I like True Pundit, so I have faith that this is a credible story. But that's a first mysterious death, and of course they claimed it was a seizure, a quote seizure in a DC hotel room. Right. There's ways to induce seizures, so it might have actually been a seizure, but it was induced, maybe electromagnetically or another way. Or the seizure is just the excuse, right? It's just the optics. So one mysterious death. Another mysterious death is actually from overseas, but I saw this and wanted to throw it out there. This is from South Africa, and there was a man named Mark Minnie who was found dead. His body was discovered out in the woods. They claimed it was suicide, but check out what this guy was doing. He co-authored a controversial book called The Lost Boys of Bird Island, which details allegations that former Minister of South Africa, Magnus Malan, was part of a pedophile network. So this guy was exposing elite pedophiles, found suicided. I'll believe that when me shit turns purple and smells like rainbow sherbet. Ha! You guys know that reference? Funny movie. Anyway, yeah, so very mysterious deaths, outing elite abuse, and not only that, but we have across the board a lot of things discussing child abuse, discussing pedophilia coming out to the surface. An ex-NASA contractor is facing federal child porn charges. So that's one guy being outed. We also have an ex-pediatrician in New York admitting to child porn charges. We also have Harvey Weinstein now being charged with sex trafficking. A judge is letting the law about sex trafficking be used against Harvey Weinstein. So like I mentioned, all across the board, we've got mysterious deaths. We've got different stories outing a lot of dark stuff that the elite don't want outed. They don't want their pedophilia, their child sex abuse coming to the surface. So that's why, A, they're running all their discrediting pieces. B, they're trying to shift the narrative away from people talking about these things, like Q, like the independent journalist doing so. right? And not only that, but they need their false flags. They need their psyops. They need their limited hangouts to play to distract the public, right? And that's where the whole UFO thing comes into the picture. So right here, we have this article being run in the Metro yesterday. The Pentagon secretly studied exotic and sophisticated UFO technologies, bombshell letter reveals. And this has everything to do with that AATIP. You might not know what that stands for. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program that's being admitted by the Pentagon, that's being reported on by that To the Stars initiative that Tom DeLonge is doing. Whether he's doing it willingly or unwillingly, or he just doesn't really know who he's shilling for, but this has Harry Reid's fingerprints all over it. This has John Podesta's fingerprints all over it. CIA fingerprints all over it. It's a total, what they call limited hangout. So what they do, that's an intelligence agency term for offering you a little bit of truth, and it's going to distract you from all the other stuff that they want to keep quiet, right? And in this instance, the limited hangout involves secret space programs, black project information. They're talking about, you know, for the last 9 months now, this To the Stars initiative has been discussing UFOs, putting out their alleged tapes of UFOs. Now they're talking about, oh, studying exotic and sophisticated material. They even released a YouTube video today talking about the Atom Research Project begins. And this is what they're calling their initiative to study that exotic material in this YouTube. Basically, it was like a vlog of them going through and testing this, quote, UFO material. Again, it's all a limited hangout. And I am going to be doing some videos coming up describing the connections between all this and getting deeper into secret space program and UFO information, so you can get a much more full hangout with me than then. You know, I'm for full disclosure. I call out anything that is otherwise, because let's be real, we don't have time to waste. We can't be bullshitting around with half-truths, half-disclosures, with limited hangouts, and that's just not in the UFO secret space program realm, but that's in every realm. We need it all out there. We need the trafficking. We need the Satanism exposed in our government. We need the black projects exposed. Yes, we need the pharmaceutical corruption exposed. We need the deep, esoteric, empowering truths that they hide from us put out there so we can become sovereign, free-thinking, free-acting human beings, not be bullshitted by their propaganda anymore. So anyway, there's my spiel. That's me on my soapbox. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back with some more videos over the next few days. Again, I'll be in Colorado this weekend, so I will update you guys as I can. Gonna do my best to get you guys some video footage from that conference out there, Dimensions of Disclosure. It's gonna be fun. Again, thank all you guys for your support, and catch you later. Done.